WWE Backlash 2025 results. This was a sleeper show going into it, but it was a very, very interesting show coming out of it. John Cena, Randy Orton, undisputed WWE Championship main event is where we're going to be kicking things off. You knew going into it, John Cena wasn't going to lose the title. The question was, how bad is this match going to be? Well, WWE, they felt the same way because we had all the bells and whistles you could have asked for. We had 2 table spots, one with the announce table, one with a regular table. We had 2, not one. No, one referee spot's not good enough. We had to have 2 referee spots where one guy got knocked down in the ring, and then the same guy got knocked down at ringside, and there came another referee, and he also got knocked down. That wasn't enough. They had to go more. They had to go more in depth. So here comes Nick Aldis, and here comes a bunch of agents talking about you had Drake Maverick, you had Jamie Noble, you had a bunch of guys, a bunch of familiar faces out there, and even Orton hit an RKO to Nick Aldis for his troubles. And then we got the low blow from John Cena, his new staple of a move, right? He hits the low blow on RKO himself, Randy Orton, hits him with a title shot. 1, 2, 3. John Cena goes over. So that was that. It was not as bad as Cody Rhodes versus John Cena at WrestleMania, I thought, because they kind of kept it more in check, but it was an Orton, John Cena in their 40s type of match. They moved it along. They got to the point. I wish we would have set up John Cena's next program because it was kind of like a letdown of like going off the air. But hey, they did that. And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. But yeah, John Cena is still your undisputed WWE champion. Opener, United States Championship match. It was Jacob Fatu defending against Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Damian Priest. Now, these guys worked hard. They gave them plenty of time to go out there and tell a story. And what was that story? Well, it was twofold. Number one, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre are not done feuding. Damian hit the South of Heaven off of some type of barricade type structure in the crowd through 2 sets of tables. But more importantly, as LA Knight was going for an elbow drop off the middle rope through an announce table on Jacob Fatu, it was Jeff Cobb who showed up and showed out to let us know that he was here, that he had arrived, and he took out, he took out LA Knight. And then it led to Jacob Fatu hitting a moonsault, 1, 2, 3. Jacob Fatu is not only in WWE, which was expected, it was reported he had been planned to be there, but more importantly, he is now with the bloodline, with Jacob Fatu, with Solo Sikoa. Now, a lot of people will crap on this because it's Solo Sikoa, but at the end of the day, you got to keep in mind, both of the Tongas are out of action right now due to injury, and so you really just had Solo Sikoa, who has been cold for about a year now, and Jacob Fatu. And Jacob Fatu can only do so much with Solo Sikoa. So I don't hate the move. You're going to have to do some explanation, if you will. But it's going to be interesting, right? It'll be interesting to see how things go going forward with this duo and everything alike. But I like the fact that they're bringing him in a prominent way, in a prominent spot with some prominent talent. And I think we're just going to have to take the wait and see approach. But they're definitely off to a hot start, getting him over as early as they have. Becky Lynch did not walk out of Backlash as our women's Intercontinental Champion. One of the bigger upsets on this card, if you had been following the betting odds going into the show, because Lyra Valkyria she was a major underdog weeks up to this show, hours into this show, and it was all for naught, right? Because they ultimately decided, you know what, we're going to keep the championship on Lyra. So what happened? Well, early in the match, Becky Lynch had a bloody elbow. I don't know how she suffered that. Maybe it was just Matt Byrne. And then it seemed like Lyra had broke her nose because she kept holding it, including when they did the finish, which was a quick roll up. And when I say that Becky Lynch launched a post match attack, I mean, they barely, and I mean barely, got that 3 out, and Becky Lynch was on top of her, throwing down some haymakers and trying to get that revenge on Lyra. So they kept her very, very strong in that regard. And obviously, while Becky did lose, they kept it where she got the heat right away. I mean, they weren't even wasting a minute. They didn't waste seconds. They went straight to it. And I actually approve of that. I think that was the right way to go because while Lyra getting the win is a big deal, and it is a big deal to her career, it automatically gets the heat back on Becky. We have Night of Champions on June 28th out in Saudi Arabia. That appears to be where we could be getting a rematch. If they indeed do that, I'm fine with that. But the fact that they gave Lyra a big win, I think you need to be happy about that if you're a Lyra Valkyria fan, because it really does help her. And the whole point of this feud, regardless of whether or not she keeps the championship, it's to make her a big star. And I think Becky Lynch has delivered on that going into this match. I think coming out of this match, they even delivered it a little bit more. So I think that's all you can ask for if you're a Becky Lynch and a Lyra Valkyria fan coming out of this Backlash match. So we had Penta, we had Dirty Dominant Mysterio, we had the Intercontinental Championship on the line. It was a match in which on paper, I was intrigued by it because I'm like, okay, Dom, he's not the greatest worker in the world, but he's gotten a lot better, and Penta is really, really good. So like, there's a chance that Penta can really pull out something special out of Dirty Dominant Mysterio. Now, these two guys, they worked hard. Thought it was a pretty solid match. Reminded me more of like just a television match, kind of like a Monday Night Raw show. But there was a lot of outside interference, right? You had Judgment Day getting involved, and you then had a situation in which El Grande Americano came out there and hit Penta with his mask, which is gimmicked. It's supposed to have a metal plate in it or whatever. And so they did that, and Don got the 1, the 2, the 3, and walked out as the Intercontinental Champion. So congrats to him, and we just keep going on. Gunther, Pat McAfee, Goldberg, Uncle Bill did not show up. There was a lot of speculation that Uncle Bill, Grandpa Bill, whatever you'd like to refer, the WWE Hall of Famer, he did not show up. And I'm glad. They can run that back. They can do that at a time. But this was a squash match. Pat McAfee, he had his moments. He would shine a little bit, and then Gunther would just cut him off. Just same old, same old. It's pretty much what you expected. I would argue that they went 2-3 minutes a little longer than needed, but at the end of the day, Gunther got it done.